Financial Sector Deepening Uganda, or FSDU in short, is a non-profit company limited by guarantee. Our focus is to make financial markets work for the poor. We support the financial system to be able to design appropriate products, relevant business models that are supposed to be able to drive increased access to financial services for the last mile. They account for very minimal portion of the returns of value in the different value chains in which they operate. So the platform strategy seeks to leverage technology to develop viable markets around the last mile. If it's a smallholder farmer, we seek to leverage technology, work with technology platform and other value chain or supply chain actors to increase the productivity of either the micro and small enterprise or the smallholder farmer, depending on what you're looking at, whether it's agricultural value chain or any other supply chain in the economy. And at the fulcrum of this strategy are the technology platforms, because the value they have is that they're able to bring and connect different players to communicate with each other and to engage with each other. For this platform strategy, we have worked with essentially 3 players, Quest Digital Finance, Emata, and Insibuco. These are technology platforms that mainly are engaging in the agricultural value chains, but to some extent as well as the trade supply chains. And we provided them with technical assistance and grants, technical assistance to help them refine and improve their business models, but also grants to help them test and pilot those business models with the last mile.
So what we have learned mainly is that groups or smallholder farmers are not motivated by just having an application or a system or a software. What motivates them is access to credit, value that they see in the platform. So previously that was missing in our Mobis application, but once we learned that through the research that we carried out with FSDU, we learned that most of these people are motivated by access to things like financial services. So we are able to pilot some lending to these groups, and we noticed that most of these groups who are actively using the system is as a result of being able to access credit. They've been able to access loans digitally, cash loans, but also in the agricultural space. You know, the cash loans are meant for agriculture, but also we've lent out non-cash loans like input loans, among others. So this is as a result of our partnership with FSDU.
So the first thing we did is we looked back at the algorithm, enhanced it, and in the process we've begun to learn various areas where there were gaps. And this is one of the things that we did to improve the algorithm. Now that's on the direct side. Indirectly, because of the work that we've been doing, we've drawn the attention of some partners. Some of these are the likes of bicycle distributors who actually deliver bicycles to the last mile. And we also have a few other partners such as Equator Seeds, who are very much interested in delivering inputs to the farmers. By the virtue of the work we do, we work with a lot of VSLA groups who are predominantly farmers. And because of that, we've been able to touch on areas that we were not able to satisfy, needs that the farmers had or that the groups had. And we've been able to touch on that and basically improve on their livelihoods, as well as reach farmers that previously we couldn't reach in the past. So this is how their support has been of help to us. A lot of the support we've received from FSDU is through things like reports. Some of these reports are more recently the Midline report, which revealed to us that our banking system, that is the Mobis app that the groups work with, draws a lot of interest because the groups are expecting to get credit at some point. Now, because of that, it redirects or refocuses our approach. Previously, we were looking at pure digitization, but now because of such insights, we begin to realize we need to retailor a lot about the app to facilitate capturing of data that will be instrumental to a group obtaining credit down the road. And this has been very helpful because we no longer build the app just for the pure sake of digitization, but because the groups have a very specific need, and because of that we are able to localize the app to address the needs that the groups have.
What FSDU has given us, and the reason why we looked for help from FSDU, is the freedom to grow as a company, the freedom to test out how we could help smallholder farmers. It has given us the chance to fail quite often, as small companies often do, to test out ideas and figure out what worked for our business model. And as we leave this project, we are a company that is actually able to stand on our own 2 feet. We are a company that has a foundation to grow not just in Uganda, but across the region. And that wouldn't have happened without FSDU's help. We've grown from one region to offering our services across Uganda, and right now we're also expanding to other countries. That for the farmer has meant, on average, a growth in productivity for our farmers of 30%. That's across all the value chains. In some value chains we see even higher growth. For the partners that we work with, the cooperatives, the aggregators, we see an increase in volume for them of, on average, 80%. So these are quite big numbers.
The finance that came from FSDU, it has been a very strong foundation to our strategy. It has helped us in the digitization. And if you do not have this kind of backing and partnership with FSDU, it becomes a bit tough because you cannot take some risks that you take with some of this funding.
With Financial Sector Deepening Uganda, we set out to digitize about 60 cooperatives and SACCOs and about 405 value chain actors, while trying to understand the nexus or the impact of zero rating the platform for them. So in order to achieve this, we definitely had to, we undertook to zero rate the platform while integrating other value-added services such as insurance, which is one of those life-saving products and services that the value chain actors in the agriculture space and financial space uptake. We have been able to see an increase in platform adoption, and this of course is evident from us being able to digitize over 80 SACCOs annually as opposed to 20 previously. But in addition to that is when it comes to the products and services, we have also been able to see increased uptake of the products that we provide on the platform. Looking at insurance as one of those, we've seen a number of participants or members of the different SACCOs, the smallholder farmers, take up both agricultural and funeral insurance, which really speaks to social security. And when it comes to the quality of life, or how the project has impacted the quality of life of the smallholder farmers, we have also seen various members of the SACCOs and cooperatives be able to take more of their children to better schools, but also access cheap and affordable credit, which definitely enables them to take their children to better schools, access better healthcare services. So as a result of the partnership that we've had with FSD, we have actually been able to modify our digital strategy. And not just the digital strategy as such, but our business model as well, a transaction-based model, which as a result has seen increased digitization of various SACCOs and cooperatives, but also the members within these SACCOs and cooperatives. Now what that translates to is more income being generated in terms of transaction-based revenue.
What we've learned and what we continue to learn as we try to advocate and push for a holistic approach to financial inclusion is the understanding that financial services on their own are not a silver bullet to addressing the poverty problem, to addressing the last mile challenge. We will need to work with various actors, working in concert with each other to improve the productivity of the smallholder farmer, to transform that micro and small enterprise into a viable and profitable customer. That will take more than access to finance.